What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Justin Henry Show here live Wednesday, May 10th. We had a lot going on today. It's not your normal day. Normally, we've been talking NBA playoffs, and I'm sure we'll get to a lot more of that. Lakers play tonight. Of course, the Laker Fan Fest is going to continue as we keep winning, but we got to talk about the other games, too. We had some incredible games last night. Nuggets, man, put it on the Suns in a big blowout win there. And the Sixers, the Philadelphia 76ers, we got to get into them because I started to write them off, and this team has been playing at a different level. So we'll talk a lot more NBA playoffs. Also, NFL schedule releases tomorrow. And yeah, we got some interesting games already. And they're leaking. You know what I mean? Like, it gets to a point where the games start leaking out. We have pre-leaks on an NFL schedule release. It doesn't make any sense. Who's getting this kind of insider information? We're going to talk about all the games here in just a bit. And then also getting into some more, just some other news too, like some international news. We got some players, NBA players doing some big things overseas. But this schedule release, I got to talk about this real quick because it's starting to get to a point where we got a presentation for every single thing NFL related. The NFL season doesn't start till August. And we got the damn NFL schedule release pre-leaks going on. Like all these international games. This is a USA sport. The NFL is American-based. And we got games in London and Wembley and all these other London. I'm like, what are we doing? Why is there so many games? Every single week it feels like there's a game internationally. And guess what? The Jaguars, they're going to just be a London-based team now. They got 2 games overseas. I don't understand this fully. The schedule releases, these teams, the social media departments are going crazy. It's all kind of a spectacle now. So in May here, we have this entire presentation on just the schedule of games. What other league does this? I want to know. What other league? Is it the MLB, the NBA, NHL? No other league does schedule release all 32 games. This is the primetime game 2 days before the actual schedule gets released. It doesn't make any damn sense. I'm just at the point now where I'm like, look, we talk fantasy football. We got betting. We have the actual NFL games. There's the NFL draft. There's free agency. Why are we making the NFL schedule a spectacle? A spectacle, something that we have to tune into all day long. I get it. People want to get excited about it. You get excited about the NFL schedule. I'm not mad at you. But the NFL, man, we gotta do a better job at presenting this information because now it's getting to a point where every little thing, are we gonna start doing NFL rookie camps? Training camp's already something, a spectacle. Hard Knocks is a spectacle. What else are we going to start doing? The commissioner got a raise. Let's do an entire day on the commissioner's salary. Like, what the hell is this, man? To me, it don't make no sense. I want to talk about the schedule. We got some games to talk about, too. There are a few games on the docket that do have, I'm doing all that hating on the NFL schedule, but there's some games I'm going to start getting excited about here very soon. Very soon. My Niners got a little sprinkle of what our schedule's starting to look at, but the NBA playoffs is in full swing, man. So, of course, I got to talk NBA playoffs. We've been doing this for a minute now. My guy, Matt. There he is. In the building, talking NFL playoffs. And, I'd love to start this, Matt, with, like, all Lakers and stuff. But, I got to show props to where props is due. This Philadelphia 76ers team is legit.
Boston, we have a problem. And I will be the first person to say I wrote this 76ers team off. I was talking to Jason last night, right? And I think a perfect way to sum up that game was he said he was at a golf charity event and he had no idea what was going on. He came back. It was the third quarter. He saw they were down and he immediately tried to bet the Celtics to win the game, right? Celtics come back. And that's how I was the entire game. I was waiting for Boston to make a run. They're at home, but it got to a point where you're getting booed by your home crowd in a playoff game. I mean, it is, the 70s. Are we really going to get Joel Embiid versus Jimmy Butler in the Eastern Conference Finals? Like, Justin, what is going on here?
The least expected outcome when this started, there's no way in hell if I would have saw Embiid versus Jimmy Butler, Eastern Conference Finals, that was not the direction I was going. I was going like Bucks and Sixers or Bucks and Celtics. It was kind of like a Bucks versus one of those 3 top teams for sure. 2 of those teams are going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. And the team I wasn't expecting to be there was the Sixers. It was the Celtics or the Bucks seemed like locks to me. And Matt, this is crazy. This is crazy to go into Boston when this team was up 2-1.
Yeah.
The Sixers have won the last 2 games, and this one in kind of a blowout fashion, like you mentioned. It was like, when are they going to come back? Oh, they're starting to bring the lead back. It's almost 10 points now. It's 12 points. When are they going to make their run? They never did. And we're going to have to start looking at this team. Is Joe Mazzulla, is he even a candidate to be coaching this team right now? Because it doesn't look good. They've had some late game miscues. And to recap this all, it's the fact that this Celtics team is supposed to be one of the best in the league and can't get it done against a team that's dealing with a hurt Joel Embiid, who was out for at least one of these games. He wasn't himself, at least for probably another game or two. How are they down 3-2 right now?
This is shocking to me. And, before the NBA playoffs started, I had locked in. I penciled in Bucks Celtics. And the fact that we are on the verge of neither of those teams making the Eastern Conference Finals is just ridiculous. I still can't believe what we witnessed last night. At this point in time, like I might write this Boston team off. They've proven nothing to me at this rate. I mean, I don't understand.
Are we overreacting though, Matt? Like, are we overreacting? Because I mean, it's 3-2. So
it is 3-2. It's going back to Philadelphia. I mean, I don't know. Are we overreacting? Like,
I like to think, like, in the moment, I'm level-headed, right? I'm like, all right, basketball is a long season. These 7-game series, they play out different ways. The Celtics, we've seen them down 3-2 before and come back. So I don't want to write the Celtics off, but it seems like this team has had chances to take this series by the throat and is struggling to do it. Like, the Sixers almost kind of feels like the Sixers are just like, oh shit, you guys want to give us the game? We're going to take it. If you guys aren't going to play at elite level, we're going to win. And I've been really hard on like Doc Rivers, James Harden, Joel Embiid. The only person that's really showed me that they've like truly stepped up this series is like James Harden. It doesn't feel like Doc has made super adjustments. It doesn't feel like Embiid's not playing at this super high MVP level. It's been Harden really kind of hitting daggers in 40-point games that's led it to be this 3-2 lead. Like, I'm not really impressed by what the Sixers are doing. I'm just massively disappointed in what the Celtics have been putting out there on the floor this series.
And when you look back at how this series has gone, there's been multiple games that have been decided in the last like minute or minute 20 that comes down to one James Harden where he just wins the game for them. And that's what you kind of look back on. Like, if James Harden doesn't hit those shots, this series is probably over. And to think that Philadelphia has a chance to go back home and that atmosphere is going to be rocking. It's going to be, Boston's going to have they have the talent. There's no questioning. Like, across the board, they have such a great roster, but they're going to have to put it together. I'm not sure if they haven't. I don't know what's going on with Boston. Yeah. I'm lost for words. I can't even come. Words can't come out of my mouth because I'm so just utterly shocked and disappointed by the Boston
It's
Celtics.
Crazy. Like, it really is crazy. This was the favorite to win the NBA championship heading into the playoffs. Like, nobody was expecting this team to be in this kind of scenario, back against the wall, 3-2 in the semifinals. This team was like penciled in for the finals, coming out the East by a lot of people, the conference finals at worst. And now, I mean, this Sixers team, like, they needed this though. They needed to have this kind of performance because I think jobs were on the line. Doc Rivers' coaching job was on the line. James Harden probably had his foot out the door. If this thing didn't go to the Eastern Conference Finals, which is still, listen, it still could happen. The Celtics are one of the best teams. There was a stat earlier. I don't have the stat on me, but the Celtics are one of the best teams in the league to come back from 3-2 deficits. And they have the star power. They're just so, we talked about this heading into the series, Matt. This team is so inconsistent.
Yeah.
Like, they're so inconsistent. There's some times where I look at the Celtics and I'm like, they're the best team in the league. Defensively, their depth is great. Everything is great with this team. And then there's other times, like last night in a couple games this series, where I'm like, how the hell did this team win so many games? And why are they considered the best team in the Eastern Conference? So I think it comes down to a couple things for the Celtics. They got to find an identity, especially late in games. Tatum, Brown, Marcus Smart. What's the pecking order there? Because it should just be Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, right? They got to figure that shit out quick. And they also need to figure out how to be more consistent. When they switch these lineups up, sometimes the offense is hot, sometimes it's not. How can we get more easy buckets? And this comes down to coaching, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And I don't think any Celtic fan wants to see Marcus Smart with the ball in his hands with 4 seconds left. I mean, you have Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Like, that's just not a shot that Marcus Smart should be taking. But hey, we'll see what happens when they head back to Philadelphia. I might be overreacting a little bit here, but at the same time, I think it just comes from disappointment, honestly. Like I've praised this Celtics team. I had high expectations for them. They made that run last year. They lost the finals. I thought they'd play with a chip on the shoulder, and they just haven't.
It's all right to be overreactions, Matt. I overreact to a lot of things. It's okay to overreact. I'm kind of going to overreact to this Nuggets Sun series, though. It's over. It's over. Whether it's over in 6 or over in 7, the series is over. There's no the Suns can't win in Denver, and I'm not even sure that they go and win Game 6. That was a beatdown last night. The score was only a 16-point game. Nuggets won 118-102, but that was a thorough beatdown. And yet again, we see Jokic with another triple-double. If Devin Booker doesn't shoot 80% from the game from the field, they're not winning this game. KD, where are you at? I'm expecting like 35, 40-point Kevin Durant with Chris Paul out. Where are you at, KD? If this is your leg, I know you just want to hoop. And I know you don't care about brushing your damn hair, but I don't want to hear any of that right now. This is the playoffs. This is the time where you make your money. This is the time where you build your legacy. Where are you at? This is the team that traded for you, gave up their entire future. Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, future first-round picks at the deadline. They waited on you to get fully healthy at the end of the season. KD, this is your time to shine. We see LeBron stepping up right now in the playoffs. We see him elevating his level of play. We're all calling out AD. We see Embiid and Harden stepping up. Jokic is dropping triple doubles. All the top names are producing at super high levels. And KD is taking a back seat right now to Devin Book. KD, if you really that guy, where are you at right now? Because I'm starting to get concerned about this Suns team moving forward even. How do they build around him if KD's going to be the number 2 guy?
And I think the biggest problem that Phoenix is having here is, when you look at, like, for example, the Lakers, obviously this entire series, you have Jamal Murray, you have Jokic, and then you have Durant, and you have Devin Booker, right? And last night it was Bruce Brown who stepped up. The Suns just haven't had a player that's like a non-superstar player step up. I mean, that's like, for me, when I watch the Lakers, right? Yeah. And I know we'll get to the Lakers, but one of the reasons that the Lakers have been so good is that any given night, one of these guys is going to go off, right? Like Lonnie Walker. You look across the Phoenix Suns roster, here's my thing, right? I'm not ready to rule out the Phoenix Suns just because I still believe it in Kevin Durant. I think Devin Booker is fantastic, even though I see people trashing him online last night. He dropped like 29 points. Like, okay, is that like really where the bar's at right now? Anyways,
it's because he didn't shoot 80%.
Exactly. Yeah, but it's like the Suns haven't had a guy that just, besides their superstars, take over a game. And Jokic is playing at such a high level right now. And he really just, the more I watch Jokic, it's almost frustrating to me how easy he makes the game of basketball look. The way he's able to slow it down, and it's just like no one can get under him. It just looks so easy, Justin.
It's easy for him. I'm kind of going the same way you talked about people were on Devin Booker. I probably need to relax a little bit on KD because he had a decent game, right? It wasn't like KD just didn't show up. He took a lot of shots. A lot of them weren't hitting, which was the problem. Him and Booker just weren't hitting the same shots they've been hitting all series long. But then you're dealing with the guy who plays the game so effortlessly, right? You're dealing with Jokic, who is co-MVP, second in MVP voting, obviously, but could have been a co-MVP, damn near averaging a triple-double, which he had last night. And it goes to show you that this team they can free flow. Like if MPJ is just hitting, he's around at 15, 20 points. If Jamal Murray continues to fight, play with that passion and is hitting dagger shots after dagger shots, it's a tough team to stop no matter what. And those guys, KD and Book, have to be completely on all cylinders in order to even just have a chance to win. Heading into Game 6, I'm not sure that this Suns team is going to come out this series, with the win. I thought this was going to be the best team in the West. As a Laker fan, I'm glad that the Nuggets are winning, but maybe I shouldn't be because this team is the Nuggets are really calm, cool, collected, man. You can kind of tell.
So let me ask you a question here. When you were looking and you said the Suns were the best team in the West, like, what to you has been their biggest problem? Is it Kevin Durant not stepping up and playing at, the superstar level that he is? Or is it some of these other guys besides Kevin Durant and Devin Booker that just really haven't shown up this playoffs?
It really was the fact that I thought Kevin Durant would come in and be like the dog on this team, right? But maybe he's older, or maybe he's more comfortable taking a secondary role to Booker, right? And Booker, the way he's played with the shooting percentage, I'm like, okay, that makes sense now. Why Booker has been the guy who's taking more shots, he's playing more effectively. A lot of the pressure has been on KD. But when you make such a massive trade like that for a player, you expect him to be the anchor of the offense and also defensively be there as well. Now, can you do that with two players in a playoff series? Probably not. But do you trade all of those assets to make that happen? You absolutely do. And that's where I think I'm expecting more. I'm like, if you're really one of the top 15 players of all time, we need a KD performance. Yeah. We need that 45-point game. We absolutely need something that says you're a top 15 player of all time, and here's why we traded for you, if that makes sense. I'm not saying he's not playing well. He's playing average KD ball, like 20, 10, and 5. Like, we expect that from KD. But where I'm at is like, where's my big shots? Where's my late game closing? Where is the KD that they traded for? That's what I'm assuming we're getting with KD. And we haven't seen it this series so far. And it could be, maybe it's just kudos to the Nuggets at this point. But I think we can my expectation, you got to set the bar high, man.
I agree.
We set the bar high for these guys, man. If they want us to have them in these top conversations, top small forwards of all time, top 5 all time, and we're looking at legacy for a lot of these guys. I know KD's the one player who really doesn't care about legacy, but if he did, and if he's really a hooper, you got to bring your team out from 3-2. How are you going to get it done?
Yeah, and I look at the box scores and I look at, like, if I'd shown you what Devin Booker's done in the playoffs so far, I think we'd both be like, okay, this Suns team's rolling, right? They're rolling. Like, when you're getting that out of him, I mean, I understand Durant's like, okay, Book's doing his thing, but I'm with you in the same boat where I expect, like, I want to see game 6 Kevin Durant. I want to see him come out, be aggressive, hit big shots, take over. Say, I'm not losing. I'm not going home like this, but
I think it would ignite the rest of the team. When you talk about the greatest players of all time, and I like to talk about Kevin Durant as one of the most skilled of all time, but when you talk about the greatest players of all time, they always elevate the rest of their team's level of play. Now, when I look at this Suns team, it's not like they have guys that can't drop 10 points in a game. But for whatever reason, Cam Payne, Josh Okogie, Landry Shamet, who's had one really good game this series, TJ Warren, Terrence Ross, DeAndre Ayton. It's like they're not getting the most out of any of these guys. It really is Book and KD and everybody else kind of just being a little supporting cast of them. They need somebody to step up. Torrey Craig, like Damian Lee. Like, there's guys on this team who have talent, and we've seen them perform at high levels even in the playoffs. Like TJ Warren in the bubble, we saw him play at a high level. Terrence Ross on Orlando, we knew he could hit the 3 ball from anywhere. He's been super inconsistent. What are we going to get out of these guys? So it's been super disappointing to see. I'm right chiming in. He says, Jokic, the most skilled big man of all time. Is that the case? Skilled? I don't know. Joel Embiid might be the most skilled. If we talking like, I got a bag between the legs, like, it might be Embiid. I don't know about that. But before we get into tonight's game, we got to tonight's game. And, I've been itching to talk about tonight's games. Itching to. Let's get into this NFL schedule, right? I kind of ranted on it a little bit. Matt, what's your thoughts on this, dog? Because the NFL schedule, bro, this is May. We got to talk about the NFL every single month, I feel like. No downtime at all. The schedule release thing now isn't just, hey, we drop it on a Thursday. Now we got insiders giving out scoop on the game and London games and all the international games in Mexico every single week. We got Black Friday games now. What's your thoughts overall on this NFL schedule thing, man?
It's just so interesting to me because it's like, are these leaks? I'm not too familiar. Are these leaks? Are teams dropping like little like hints and pieces, kind of like, teasing us? The first thing that stood out to me is it Jacksonville that's playing like back-to-back games in London?
They have back-to-back games. They're going to be London's favorite team. They're there every single year.
They are. And I don't know, man. Like, I get we're trying to grow the game, but there are so many international games, which here's the thing, okay? As a sports fan, when I lived on the West Coast, I hated it because it was so early. Like, some of those games were starting at the crack of dawn. Yeah. I wasn't able to wake up for them. Now, being on the East Coast, I don't mind it because, it just extends all day football, like an extra 3 hours. But Germany,
it's like 6:30 out here, bro.
Yeah, it's
like 6:30 a.m.
I remember waking up for, I think it was a Vikings game last or 2 years ago, and it was literally like still dark outside.
It was that Viking Saints game.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think
I know exactly what game you're talking about. Yes, it was Viking Saints. And that game was super early. And I was just like, bro, it's good to have football on, like on Sundays, but sometimes it's tough to watch. And as a fan, we're already like, football fans are very diehard. The reason why we're even talking about the NFL schedule here in May is because football fans are diehard. But now there's games on Thursday, Friday, Sunday, sometimes Saturday, Monday. They extended out to Tuesday at one point. Like, there's games all the time. And, from start to finish in the morning, that's a long ass day to go from early in the morning, Wemby games, 6:30 in the morning, to 5:30 at night, my time, 6:30 to 5:30 at night, 8:30 by the time the game's over. You guys on the East Coast there, or East Coast time, that's a 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock day, full time. Like, you got to be watching all day long in order to see every single game.
And yeah, we're supposed to have families. No, like, no.
I do. I got kids now. They're football adopted now. Like, they got to sit and watch the games and be like, Dad, are you still watch football? I'm like, yeah, I am actually. Nothing else to do. But week 4, Atlanta versus Jacksonville in Wembley. And then week 5, Jacksonville versus Buffalo and Tottenham. I think Jacksonville's going to be home game for one. Buffalo's going to be for the other. But Jacksonville probably is going to have a pretty nice base out there, because Jacksonville is, I think they played every single year since they started doing London games. Like, that's been the quote unquote home team out in London from what I can remember. A couple other games here on the agenda that got leaked, so to speak, international wise. We got Baltimore and Tennessee in week 6, Tottenham at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. We got week 9, Miami versus KC.
Oh my gosh,
in Frankfurt. That's a nasty game. Miami versus KC early in the morning. Should be a track meet.
Was that Tyreek Hill's first game?
Woo! Oh, that's a heater. Overseas game, that's a heater. I think that is his first game back at KC since, or not at KC, but versus KC since this whole thing, since that trade happened. That's wild. Week 10, we got Indianapolis versus the Patriots in Frankfurt. Should be a good game too, division game. Week 12, the Dolphins versus the Jets on Black Friday. Let's get into those. Are some of we'll get into some of the additional primetime games, but those are the international games right now. 5 of them on the agenda. I didn't see a Mexico game. I'm sure there's going to be more, but those are the ones that have been leaked so far. It's too much football. 18 weeks is too much. Is there such a thing as too much football, Matt? No such thing as too much football.
No such thing.
18 weeks. They should just make it 52 weeks a year. 52 weeks a year, just all football all day long. It feels like that now, like, especially when you talk about like fantasy or betting, like all of this has been incorporated. Now it feels like I could do my best ball drafts. I could do bet the futures. There's a lot of football season. The draft feels like it's its own endeavor. The free agency feels like its own thing. It just feels like there is so much football at all times. 18 weeks. What was 18 weeks? We had 17 before all this time. What's 18 weeks, right? Now let's get into some of the additional primetime games that have been announced. Week 12, Miami Dolphins and Jets. I just alluded to it. Black Friday. We got the Thanksgiving games, and those will be announced here very soon. But Black Friday games. What? Where did this come from?
Wait, so we have Thanksgiving, which you're supposed to spend with your family, but you watch football, and Black Friday when you're supposed to be, shopping. Now you're supposed to be watching football. I mean, they're trying to capitalize on every single market there possibly is out there. That's a good game, though. I like it.
That's a good game, bro.
That is a good game. You know what? If I'm going to sit through something, I'll sit through that.
It's in the midday too, so like you have to get up super early. The Black Friday specials, you got to be up like crack dawn in order to get the good specials. But we're getting a good game at least, like you mentioned, A-Raj, and then against the Dolphins division games should be a very good game on a Friday too. So it'll be the only thing we're watching. I'm sure they'll add to that slate as years go on. It'll be Thanksgiving and Friday, and then Black Friday games. But you start to think about it though. That's week 12. We're not going to have very much football on Sunday because they had a Monday night football game still. Normally three Thanksgiving games, and now a Black Friday game as well. That Sunday slate's going to be very, very thin. Week 16, Christmas game has been announced. Merry Christmas to the Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles. How you feel about that game, man? This is I like when they put the division games in prime time on those holidays because those end up being really highly contested games, especially late in the season, like Week 16.
And I know I'm going to get some heat for this, but you said that was Christmas Day.
Christmas Day.
Christmas is still basketball to me. That's what I grew up on. Like as a kid, we would fly to Chicago. I'd be at my grandma's house and I'd just be watching basketball. So I'm still one of those guys. I know football's king and football will always be king, but come Christmas Day,
football
I'm
is king. And sometimes it just takes precedent. I'm an NBA guy. And NBA, that's kind of like that's our Thanksgiving for football is NBA. Yeah. It's all day long. I'll sit there and watch hoop all day long. But I mean, Giants and Philly, you have to watch that. Yeah. Like that's a must watch now.
And let me just say something, Justin, because one of my favorite Christmas memories, right? I was a little kid for this, not little, but I was young. Derrick Rose versus the Lakers on Christmas Day in LA.
Yeah, of course, it's one of your favorite memories.
It wasn't personal. You know what?
Yo, why you gotta come on, man? Normally Lakers are winning on Christmas Day.
They
so
are,
I don't want to hear nothing about no Derrick Rose favorite memory. Get that shit out of here, bro. That shit out of here. Last game that got announced so far that we've seen, very good game. Oh man, I cannot wait for this one. Week 17, which will probably have very important seeding implications. The Bengals and the Chiefs. Woo! That's a banger for Week 17. Bengals and Chiefs. That could be for the number 1 seed in the AFC.
I think a lot of people had kind of penciled that game as the potential season opener too.
Yeah.
Like I think that was a matchup when you were looking, obviously KC's going to host whoever. A lot of people thought that was going to be the game. Now that leaves me with questions. Philadelphia potentially season opener at KC. Could we see a rematch?
Yeah.
You think that's the game?
I think that's the game.
Because
any chance you get to do a Super Bowl rematch, the opening day kickoff, you got to do it. You have to.
And I know people are like maybe Buffalo as well, but then Buffalo, I'm pretty sure Buffalo they had it last year against the Rams, right? Wasn't that the season opener?
Buffalo and Rams.
Yeah, so at this point, it's looking like we're going to get a Super Bowl rematch for the season opener.
And that's the New Year's Eve game too, by the way. So that'll be New Year's Eve. That the Chiefs and Bengals. But dude, I feel like the Eagles have to get that game against the Chiefs in Arrowhead. That would be a fun game, a fun way to start the season, right?
What a start!
All right. Any other schedule announcements? I didn't see anything else in Champions round in our chat. They said the Eagles and the Niners are going to be playing each other Week 13. Ooh. Yeah, so that's the first Niner announcement that I've seen. We gotta confirm that because we need some get back. It is gonna be with Trey Lance at the helm. Just know that.
Okay.
We need some get back. There's also another rumor: Giants and Cowboys Sunday Night Football Week 1 to start the season. Cowboy fans, of course, get the primetime game to start the year.
Come on now, it's not Dallas is always penciled in for those primetime games. You got to give it to them, right?
I mean, Dallas, I feel like Dallas always has like top 3 most primetime games. If you had to guess a team, I got a team in mind already.
Okay.
I don't want to spill the beans. Actually, I am going to spill the beans. I'm going to make you wait. I'm going to make you wait, Matt. This is my team.
I hope we don't have the same thing, but go.
That's why I'm going first because you might take my squad. So I got to take it first. We already saw him get one primetime game, and that was the Black Friday game, the Jets. I feel like they're going to be all 100%. Over our screen all season long.
Oh, my gosh. I was literally going to say the Jets and Aaron Rodgers. They're going to feed us. Like, to me, it's still, when I see the Jets on primetime, I think it's almost like I forget that Aaron Rodgers is there. But no, they're going to try to take advantage of that as much as possible, especially considering just how talented, that division is. I imagine we're going to see them all over the schedule.
Jets, Bills, Jets, Dolphins, Jets, Patriots, Jets, Chiefs, Jets, Chargers, Jets.
And I'm pretty sure, Justin, isn't there like a new, not every team has to be on prime time. I'm pretty sure
last year, the Detroit Lions weren't on prime time all last year. You guys might see this in a social media post coming up here soon, but I think there's one team that's definitely not getting any primetime love. Probably going to be in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes. Arizona Cardinals. They're trash. They're trash. If Kyler Murray doesn't come back, they're mid. So I don't think we'll be seeing a whole lot of them until we figure out what's going on with Kyler Murray. All right, back to the NBA. got to go back to the NBA because we got some games tonight. Before we get into the actual games, though, bro, you've been seeing these players. They're going overseas and hooping, dog. Like DeMarcus Cousins, he's been in Puerto Rico straight hooping. Have you seen the clip?
I haven't. No, I got to check it out.
He has been hooping. Like going to Puerto Rico, just balling out. He was actually on a podcast the other day. He was talking about getting a ring. You know, in 2020, he was on the Lakers. Obviously, didn't play with them for the full season, but he got a ring. He was like, hell yeah, I want that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, give me my ring. Same thing we were talking about with like Russ and Pat Bev. They said they want their ring too. But it has been crazy. These players, man, it's like you forget how talented they are just because they're not in the league. They could go somewhere else and just dominate. Like DeMarcus Cousins looked like the Sacramento Kings version of DeMarcus Cousins in Puerto Rico. And bro, Dwight Howard, same thing.
I've seen some of his clips. Insane.
Bro, he's going out there looking like a point guard, 20 legs, 3-point shots. I'm like, dog, why weren't you doing that shit in the league? He was in Taiwan out there looking like Michael Jordan, LeBron James out there. He was doing a commercial. They're like, hey, I want to stay here forever. They treat him nice out there.
Oh my god,
it's been crazy. What do you think? Like, I kind of was like a side thought to me. I was like, bro, if I was a player, I'm a vet. Why is everybody? I know the pay is a lot nicer in the NBA, but shit, if you can go overseas, make some money, get a bag, have some fun. If I'm at the tail end of my career, why am I like, I need to be in the NBA?
Yeah, no,
overseas for a little bit.
I completely agree. It's like, you know, someone like Dwight Howard, right? You know, go have some fun, finish your career off, you know, take as many shots as you want. No one's going to tell you to pass the damn ball over there. Like that's Dwight Howard's team.
Exactly. That's Dwight. I'm the dog here. I'm the captain now. Yo, our producer Nick said, look at Stephon Marbury, a legend in China. Bro had an illustrious career out in China. I think he got a damn statue out in China now. Got the bag. You love to see it. Also, a little bit of other NBA news. The Toronto Raptors just fired Nick Nurse, and an interesting name now has surfaced as a candidate, and actually came out that he's interviewed for the position. NBA veteran JJ Redick now is supposed to be a lead candidate for the head coaching position of the Toronto Raptors. This is just based on his podcast. This is based on the ESPN gig. How the hell is he getting this much love in the head coaching circles?
Yeah, there's no question. JJ Redick knows ball, but I was a little surprised to see that come out. I mean, is that kind of the direction of what we're going with head coaches these days?
Like former players, I get it. Every player is going to be a head coach. Every player is going to have a podcast. This is just the nature of today's game. I saw Trae Young is about to have a podcast now called the Point Cast or something like that. I'm like, everybody's going to have one. But these former players, it's like sometimes they work out, but a lot of times they've needed to have some kind of coaching experience under them, right? Like Darvin Ham has sat on the bench for a little bit. You got to have that assistant coaching pedigree to command not just the leadership, but just learn how to coach the game in general. I think there's an easy path for a lot of these guys. Oh, I played in the league. I know X's and O's, so I should be a good coach. But I also think you have to go through that coaching circle. Like Steve Nash is a prime example of that. Just threw him into the position, not ready to go, not able to lead men. I'm not saying JJ Redick can't lead a team or that he's not a smart guy. He can't be a head coach. I'm not saying that. It's just the track record of players who have gone to become coaches is much better when they've actually had coaching experience.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Got a note here, says, worked out well for Derek Fisher and Jason Kidd to have their first coaching job be a head coach. I don't know about that because Jay Kidd, yes, he got the experience with the Nets, but the Nets were terrible. They were ass. It took him going to Dallas in order to kind of figure things out. You know, and D Fish, I think he lost the team. Oh, being sarcastic. All right. Being sarcastic, man. I'm like Nick, bro. Like, come on, my man.
Nick's over there.
I'm gonna bring him on here in a minute after we talk these games. But let's go into the games tonight, man.
Okay.
So we got 2 games tonight. Miami Heat and Knicks. Let's get this one over with, right? Let's pack this thing up.
I'm ready for
Get
this
them out
to
of
be
here.
done.
We don't got to talk much about it. Knicks feel like they've already kind of packed the bags. They're ready to go home. Series is done. Or are you giving the Knicks a chance at all?
I think the Heat are going to close it out tonight. I do. I think it'd be good for them as well, like in their hopes of, hey, we finished the series, hopefully Boston could extend things, get some rest. They definitely need it. At this point in time, I think there's a real chance that we could potentially see a bubble rematch in the NBA Finals. I mean, I think the league wants Lakers Celtics. Not sure if it's going to go that direction, especially after last night. But I would, Jimmy Butler's one of those guys that I want as a Bulls fan and just as an NBA fan in general. I would love to see him compete at the highest level for an NBA Finals or championship
playing
ring.
Teams in the NBA Finals would be wild.
Insane.
That might be one of the wildest things that's ever happened in the NBA playoffs. I'm not ready to give up on the Knicks in this game. Okay. I think this is the best game we see from the New York Knicks this entire series. I think they could come in and get a win tonight. It doesn't feel like it, but I feel like this is a game they can win. I don't think they win this series, but I do think we see if the Knicks have any gut and heart, and they're coached by Tibbs, so I know that they do. I feel like we see a really good game out the Knicks tonight, and they maybe extend it out one more game. Okay. That's my gut feeling. Is that the Knicks can at least get a game tonight. They'll need big efforts from some of the supporting pieces, though. Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson obviously got to play well, but we got to see RJ Barrett step up, man, like he did in the first series. But let's get to the haymaker.
Oh, baby.
Oh, my gosh. I wish we could have did a reaction video yesterday because I really, really wanted to talk about the Lakers and that win. This series is over. I hope you know this. This series is over.
Is it over tonight?
The series is over. That's where I'm going to stop.
Okay. Not going to give me. Okay.
Not going to say tonight. And now it would not surprise me if the Lakers handle business tonight. You know what, Matt? I am going to say it. The series is over tonight.
You're going there?
It's over tonight. The Lakers are going to go into Golden State, into San Francisco, into the Chase Center, and get the dub. On the Dubs head, the Warriors dynasty effectively over. I don't want to hear no more about the Warriors dynasty. Wow. That chapter is closed. We're moving on to the LeBron legacy. Let's keep talking about that. Year 20? This is year 20. From the 7th seed, out the bottom of the depth, the 12th seed most of the year. Here we are, the all-time leading scorer this season. Oh, he's got plantar fasciitis. Liz Frank, he's going to be out for the year. LeBron can't do it. Oh, who are these bums they traded for? D'Angelo Russell, he's washed up. Malik Beasley's washed up. Jared Vanderbilt, Rui Hachimura, these guys are trash. Oh, no, the Lakers can't beat the Warriors. Steph Curry, the Warriors are so great. No, it's LeBron time, baby. And guess what? This is going to be the year that he gets the Lakers the most franchise titles in NBA history. Tied with the Celtics right now. Imagine the cap being put on ring number 5 for LeBron James, getting ring 18 for the Lakers in the year he breaks a scoring record behind all odds as the play-in team, the greatest season in NBA history. LeBron and the Lakers, baby. Signed, sealed, delivered. Let's go.
I don't really know what to say. I mean, he was too stunned to speak.
It's going to happen, man. Look, the Lakers are now favored to come out the Western Conference. Come out the Western Conference. And, the Warriors, they have a nice legacy, but they got a lot of internal things they got to fix.
Yeah.
Draymond, I don't see him being back next year. Jordan Poole, they got to figure out what's going on with him. They have to address getting a big man because this Hamptons lineup, the Hampton 5, is no longer. It doesn't work no more. They can't operate with that lineup. They got high invested picks in Moses Moody and Jonathan Kuminga. Where are those guys been at? We've seen a little bit of Moody, none of Jonathan Kuminga. Where are those guys at now? Andrew Wiggins, Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson's out here laying out brickfest in these games. We're expecting him to hit clutch 3 after clutch 3. What's happened to this Warriors team? It feels like they're done, man.
And Steph, drops a triple-double. The end of that game was just kind of, I don't even know what I was watching between, that jump ball where he threw it out of bounds and then Draymond turning the ball over. It just seemed like that was the game for Golden State. And the fact that they couldn't get it, they couldn't grab that win. Lonnie Walker shows up, drops 15 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that was the series.
That really was
the series. Effectively really series. Everybody's expecting the Warriors to just win this game at home tonight because they're the Warriors. The Lakers are the better team.
Yeah.
They're showing that they're the better team. And I know that there was a chance that the Warriors could have stole Game 4 in crypto, but it came to a point where we've seen this out of Steph Curry way too many times in the playoffs. He has no bag. Like, I'm not trying to hate on Steph. Steph's one of the greatest players of all time to play the game. Top 10, 15 player, whatever you want to call him. I'm not going to debate you too much on it. But in crunch time situations, undersized guards, sometimes they can't get their own shot. That's the problem. When you got a 6'11", 6'10" power forward on you, as a guard, you should be able to get around them, get a shot off. Right now, he can't do that. He can't get around a Kevin Love we've seen in the playoffs. He can't get around an AD. This team isn't the same without a guy that can hit the dagger. And we've seen it with Andre Iguodala. We've seen it with Kevin Durant. This team struggles to get that last-second clutch shot. And against the Lakers, they haven't been able to get it. Steph Curry tossing the ball behind his head with nobody behind him. Klay Thompson out here bricking shots. Warriors, to me, man, everybody has a prime. Everybody has a prime. And time does not wait for no one.
No.
I feel like the prime of this Warriors team, like I said, man, done and over with.
And where the hell is Jordan Poole? I mean, you pay this guy all this money. I don't even think he scored in the last game. I mean, as you said before, assuming the Lakers finish this series off, Golden State's got a lot of question marks. You know, you just paid this guy a ton of money. Your core, your dynasty's not getting any younger. Some of the high draft picks, I mean, think about even James Wiseman. Like, that's a player that you could have used in this series like that if it had panned out. Like, that's a guy in terms of matchups that really would have helped you out. But, you know, the Lakers have been so impressive. And I feel like ever since we started filming this, I don't even think like it's just the Lakers love fest, but it's deserved. No one expected this. No one did.
Essentially, maybe this is good luck.
At what point do we start asking ourselves, has this brought good luck to the Lakers? Because I really
champions round, this pairing right here has brought good luck to the Lakers. So I'm here for it. We can just continue this run forever. Like, this is one of the forever things. Long the Lakers keep winning. When they start losing, though, we ending this shit. It's done. The show's over with. You out of here, bro. I'm out of here. But let's be real for a second, though. Like, we talk about the Lakers, and it's like, yeah, we're talking about the Lakers again, but it's deserved. Like you mentioned, like, we have to. Where they're the favorites. I mentioned a little bit earlier. They're the favorites to come out the West, Matt. How are you feeling? Obviously, you know how I'm feeling about it. I think this team can win the finals, and I think this is probably the best unit depth-wise that there is in the league. That's coming from a Lakers stand, though. Where are you at with this? Because there's a real possibility we see this team playing in the late June.
I am at the point where I am fully bought in, not just because of Anthony Davis and LeBron James, but as we talked about earlier, the role players, someone's stepping up on a daily night. Like, it doesn't even matter who. Like, someone's going to come out, going to have a big performance. You don't know who. This team was so, it's funny looking back at it because it's built so well now. Like, there's guys that, you know, just seem to rise the occasion on a nightly basis. And I think a lot of that is credit to LeBron James and Anthony Davis and the fact that, you know, you have a Lakers jersey on, you got stars all across the court. Like, you know, you got these celebrities in the building, but it doesn't faze any of them. And, you know, some of them are younger, some of them are older, but at the end of the day, the Lakers have been so impressive.
I want to see a rematch. Lakers Heat. I want to see that because I think we're going to win, but I want to see that. I think that would be good basketball, man. And, you know, we talked about the bubble and how everybody was saying it was the Mickey Mouse, whatever, Disney championship. Bring some validation to a lot of things that have happened over the years. And a lot of the people that have been running their mouths over that and talking about LeBron in bad light going to get proved wrong. You want to do Daily Dozen tonight?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's run it real quick, man. Let's run Daily Dozen.
I think, was it last time? Sorry. Last time we did it, I think we went 8 for 12.
8 for 12. We actually had a good day.
We had a really good day. And I just want to say, campaign, hit the under on threes.
Campaign, the hate worked. The campaign hate worked. All right, guys, we're playing Daily Dozen. If you do not play Daily Dozen, head over to the Champions Round app. It's super fun, bro. We're about to get into it. It's 12 picks on player props for the night, for the games that are on. And we're going to cover them, right? We're going to talk about if they go over, under. You get to decide. And if you hit all 12, you 100x your money if you play the paid version. If you're on the free version, we're giving out a De'Aaron Fox signed jersey, right? Is it De'Aaron Fox signed jersey?
De'Aaron Fox.
So make sure you guys play. Get that De'Aaron Fox signed jersey. We're going to get in on these picks. You guys can get in with us. All right. We're playing. We hit last time. We hit 8 for 12. We playing for
12.
cash again, baby.
Let's do it.
Let's play for cash. $12 pays out $1,200. That's some bread if you get all 12 right. Let's get them all right tonight.
Let's do it.
Jimmy Butler. Point total sitting at 28.5, and we've seen some monster performances when we've needed to out of Jimmy. Is this that night?
I think this is this night. Like you said, I think this Knicks team's going to come out. Tibbs isn't the type of coach that's just going to, call it a night and call it a series. I think for Miami to win this game, which I think they will. I know you got New York. I think Jimmy's going to have to score over 20.5 points.
All right. And Jalen Brunson, right? Like Jalen Brunson's been playing well. But this series, we've seen him go 30-20, 30-20. Is this a 30 night or a 20 night?
25.5. I feel like I think he's either
right there in the middle, right?
25. It's right there in the middle. Oh, God.
Let's go with the over. This feels like
a game. Go over? Okay.
This feels like a game the Knicks have to win. If they're going to do it, it's going to be Jalen Brunson scoring 30. Give me the over on that one. Bam Adebayo, total points at 16.5. 16.5.
Yeah, he hit 23 last game. He had a good game. Oh, Justin, I'm leaning towards you. I'm sending this one your way.
With Bam, it feels like this team gets that second guy out of Bam, but he's so inconsistent, man. That's like one game he'll dominate like scoring wise. One game he'll be ghost. One game it'll be offensive. I'm gonna go with the under today on Bam. I feel like Bam, it's a point total I think he can reach, but because I got the Knicks winning, I'm gonna go with the under for Bam Adebayo on 16.5 points. Julius Randle, a guy that the Knicks really need to step up, 22.5 points tonight.
I'm going over.
Let's go over.
I think you can hit that over.
Let's go. So you want to ride? You going to end up riding with the Knicks on me tonight, bro?
You know what? It's funny because I give predictions before we play Daily Dozen, and then suddenly it looks like I've taken the other side.
Switching up. I see you switching up. It's all good. We got K-Love next. Kevin Love sitting at 8.5 points. He's only hit that number once this entire series. I don't feel really good about that one. I'm going to go under.
Let's go under.
RJ Barrett sitting at 19.5. And we talked about his importance and what this means to the Knicks. They have to get a big performance out of RJ Barrett tonight in order to win the game. I think they can. I'm going to go over for RJ Barrett. That's 3 Knicks we're going over on. So they better get in. They better get a win. All right. Next up. Lakers Warriors.
Ooh.
Steph Curry sitting at 31.5. That's a big game for him at home.
That is a big game. 31.5. Oh, gosh. Justin,
Tell me.
I'm
right with your decision on this one. I'm picking the Lakers. You're going to pick the Warriors.
I think I got to go over. I'm
over?
Sorry. I got to go over. It's Steph, series on the line.
All right, over it is. LeBron James, who we haven't seen the LeBron James performance yet still, which is crazy to think about. We haven't seen like a 30-point triple-double out of LeBron. It's been a lot of smooth sailing. 24.5 points. This feels like it could be either going to be a Laker win or a Warriors blowout. Like a Lakers close win or a Warriors just complete domination. I'm still going to go with the over, though. I think LeBron gets over 24.5. I think the Lakers really come out with a concerted effort to end this series so that they can get some rest, because I don't think they want to be playing extra games while the Denver Nuggets potentially are resting if they win.
Let's go over.
Let's go over, baby. Klay Thompson. We know Game 6, Klay Thompson. This is Game 5, Klay Thompson, 22.5 points.
Ooh.
This is your call. I'm not answering this. This is all you.
I mean, Klay was so bad last game. I think I don't think he scored double-digit points. I think he was at 9 points.
Yeah, he's like 3 for 12 or 3 for 13 or something. Wow.
Yeah. 22.5. I'm going over. I'm
going over, calling the rebound.
I'm calling the rebounds.
All right, we're going rebound. Anthony Davis, who odd game AD has been a monster. Even game AD up until last game had been mediocre. It's an odd game. His point total is probably sitting at 24.5. I think I'm going to go over here because I've been on. This is not going to end well for us.
I know. We're
over on every single.
We have just way too many overs, but hey, you know what?
It's fun though. It's fun to do.
It is fun.
And the thing is, like, I think there's a world where that this game does become a little high scoring. If the Lakers are really pressing and play well early, and we get some big performances out of the guys that we're expecting, It could happen. Draymond Green.
Under.
Barely got the name out my mouth. Under. Anything Draymond Green. Single digits. Under. All right, we riding the under, man. Draymond Green. And then Austin Reeves. You know, he's had some games, he's had some moments, but I'm going under. It's not going to be him. It'll be somebody else. I think we get another D'Lo performance tonight, if I'm being real. So we got Jimmy Butler on the over 28.5, Jalen Brunson over 25.5. We got Bam Adebayo under 16.5, Julius Randle over 22.5. Kevin Love under his 8.5. RJ Barrett over 19.5. Steph Curry over 31.5. LeBron James over 24.5. Klay Thompson over 22.5. Anthony Davis over 24.5. And then Draymond Green under 8.5 and Austin Reeves under 13.5. Guys, if you want to play with us, head over to the Champions Round app. Play Daily Dozen and get your bread. Let's get it. So, Matt, we're going to come back on Friday and we're going to talk about how the Lakers have sealed things up, right?
Ooh, we might. And I just want to put something out there. For the week, I'm currently in 10th place on the Daily Dozen. I'm coming for that jersey.
Are you?
I'm coming for that jersey. I'm getting some practice in. I want that jersey.
Yo, if you get that jersey, you got to hang it up behind you right there on the empty wall right there. You got to hang that De'Aaron Fox jersey up. That's got to go up. All right, guys. Appreciate everybody involved. Hold on. We got to get Nick in, too, because he was talking about the Nets, and he was talking about the Knicks. Let's get my guy Nick in here and talk about these coaches, bro. Nick, what's good, dog? How you living, bro?
I can't believe we haven't mentioned playoff Bruce Brown yet. I mean, this is tremendous. My game last night, 25 points.
He comes out of nowhere too. Like he'll be like 3 points, 9 points, and then he'll just have like some blow up game out of nowhere. We talked about the schedule, Nick, and obviously, you know, I know you up there in New York. How you feeling about the schedule so far? The games that have been announced.
Well, I'm also not a huge fan of these international games. Ultimately, we'll get to the point where every week of the regular season, there's going to be an international game. Some network, probably Amazon, will buy that morning slot, so it'll be exclusive on there. And that's just the way it's going to go. They're eventually going to get the regular season to 19 games. I hate that. By Browns week 16 last year, I was ready for the regular season to end. I think it's too much. It waters down the competition, especially early in the season. The first month, it doesn't really get going too much.
Yeah.
The play's sloppy. And then by the end, there's really not much at stake. I mean, there is, but with the expanded playoff, I don't like that because it just doesn't mean as much the regular season. Yeah. So I'm really against that. And definitely not a fan of typical Giants, Cowboys potentially opening up on Sunday Night Football. Hate the Giants and the Eagles on Christmas Day. Don't need to ruin my Christmas. Giants are 0-11 the last 11 games versus the Eagles. So that'll continue. Boston Scott, if you're a DFS player or fantasy, you want to have him for that game. He averages a touchdown per game versus the Giants. It's too early for me to get aggravated over football schedule. So I'll just, let the schedule come out tomorrow, and then I'll deal with it come September. And also another big game this year that we didn't mention, but it's going to be big. It'll be Giants versus Jets. They're playing each other this year.
More Aaron Rodgers.
If that's probably going to be a Sunday Night Football game or a Monday Night Football game, but that's actually a really bad idea for the fans because the two fan bases, they're in the same spot. It's a big game in the stadium. I've been there. It's going to suck the energy out of the place if it's a primetime game. No one wants to go out to MetLife Stadium where the wind is howling and it's freezing at 8 p.m. Don't do it, NFL. Just don't do it.
On that damn field, and the fans will be throwing haymakers at each other. Kind of reminds me a lot of there used to be the Oakland, San Francisco, the Bay Area games. Those used to be pretty hot and contested. So I can imagine with both teams actually being good, Jets and Giants, there's going to be some fans getting kicked out of that one.
Oh yeah, there's always fans getting kicked out of MetLife Stadium, and that's just the way it is. But I'm sure everywhere you go, there's fans getting kicked out of stadiums also, and.
Might be some fans that get kicked out of that Knicks game tonight if they happen to lose.
Well, I think after the Knicks lose tonight because Julius Randle, he's quit on the team. So I don't want to hear him say, "Oh, the Heat wanted him more." Julius Randle didn't want him more. He's not making any effort for rebounds. this guy has a lot of talent. I think we could all agree, but we should also all agree that he has a horrible basketball IQ. I mean, there's a 3-on-1. He's got the ball. He could have dished it out to either player on the wing, but he taps the rim, totally misses because the player takes the contact. If he starts off tonight 0 for 4 from the field or turns it over, he's going to be booed out of the building. And hopefully after the Knicks lose, the Knicks need to look to trade this guy because they're not going to get to where they want to be with him. And the same thing goes for RJ Barrett. The two of them, when they need him the most, they come up really small. The Knicks are going to expose with their depth here, lack of three-point shooters. The Heat have the best strategy right now, which is let's just let the Knicks shoot open threes. They're going to go about 10 for 32 from the field. We're going to make all our threes, and that's it. Because there's no defense being played on the perimeter. Everybody's missing open shots.
Well, Nick,
maybe Obi Toppin makes a shot, but they don't play him. Thibodeau, all of his career, and Matt would know this watching him with the Bulls. His MO has always been, if you don't play defense, you're not going to play. But Julius Randle's the exception to the rule because he's going to play no matter what. And it just cost the team and this Knicks franchise. They had a chance here, but they're cursed. And I think it's
you're right. I'm gonna be pissed off because that means me and Matt, the Daily Dozen, like
Daily Dozen.
We're cooked in Randall.
Yeah, I'm going under on Julius, under on RJ Barrett. We'll go over on Jalen Brunson now.
Oh God. Well, for today's show, man, that does it. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Appreciate our producer Nick, co-host Matt, myself, Justin Henry, champions round. We in the building. It's been another real episode. See you on Friday. Peace out.